we want because you ain't the boss of us. I'm Brian Noonan. With me, as always, the well coiffed, the tight, the fire, Cody Gough. Cody, what's coming up on the big show today?
So many things. After our 5-minute, 30-second, 25-minute check-in, we've got a lot to get to. Brian has a story about a wedding that could be dramatic. It could be hilarious. It could be a little bit of both. Just stick around for that because it's only like 5 minutes away or 30. That'll be good. Then I've got a bone to pick with Brian about Christmas ornaments, actually. Christmas decorating. Yeah, there's going to be a whole Christmas decoration showdown. So get ready for that. Get ready for me to get heated up. And I've got a Bourbon County stat, so it's going to be extra spicy. Also, Brian may have gotten in trouble with the law and in a mild way. So we'll hear about that hilarious story. And hey, guess what's going on right now in the world? The World Cup, only the most important sporting event since WrestleMania. So I'm going to talk about my experience watching the World Cup and give some tips and tricks for getting into it if you haven't already. And then Brian had, speaking of international things, Brian had a rather interesting experience with an international group of people that may have ended, well, hilariously. I don't know, dramatically.
You're putting a lot of pressure with the hilarious label on all this. You're putting way too much
I'm
pressure.
left in suspense at everything going on, particularly my hair. But first, I guess we got to do our is it a 5-minute check-in?
No, I didn't think it was a 5-minute check-in.
60-second check-in?
I don't know. It's just our check-in.
A 60-second check-in seems more
reasonable.
reasonable.
We each get 60 seconds.
Yeah. Well, I had a good Thanksgiving, and it's raining outside, and it's going to be 20 tomorrow. So that kind of sucks. But otherwise, I'm doing good.
All right. I'm still battling. After 2 weeks, I'm still battling this RSV, this virus. So I'm still coughing and congested and snotty. But today, very exciting. I got a flu shot and a COVID booster. And I've added something new to my Captain America shelf behind me. If you can guess what it is, there's no prize. But I will go, boy, you are very, very observant. Hard to tell.
My screen's very small, so we got to blow it up.
Yeah.
So on the right, oh, no, the flag.
The flag is new. Yes, very good, Cody. Yes, that is when we were cleaning out my mom's garage, that is the flag that was in my dad's casket from, when you're a veteran, you get a flag. And so I bought when I found the flag folded up in a box, all dusty, I was like, well, we can't have that. So I bought one of those little frame deals that you put it in, and I dusted it off and went right up on the Captain America shelf. So there you go.
Yeah. My great grandfather's flag has been framed in a thing in my dad's office since I was born. So I'm surprised it landed where it did for you. Like,
yeah, I don't know how, I don't remember that day very well. I don't remember who, I didn't know where the flag went, but it didn't surprise me that it was in a box with all his other stuff in the garage. So that didn't, I was not shocked by that development. Sure. And then I was like, well, I'm going to join in. I'm going to repurpose that for myself and put it in the office. So
good call.
There you go. Ken is joining us. Ken is finally joining in. He says, been loving watching these on YouTube. Ken has been listening to us since we were doing overnights at some ill-fated AM station back in the day. And which is a phrase I'm trying to get away from, by the way.
What?
Back in the day. It's dumb.
Why?
I don't want to say it anymore. It sounds stupid.
Okay. Wait, is this Ken the security guard?
No. No, that was Al.
No, there was a Ken security guard too.
There was?
Yeah.
I remember Al. No, Ken used to send us messages and stuff, and he came out a couple weeks ago when I was doing stand-up in Orland Park. Ooh. So he works in public access television in my old neighborhood.
Awesome.
Yeah. So he's listening. Eric is nice to see you, Eric. Or nice to have you, Eric, is listening from Maine and watching from Maine tonight. We're bi-coastal.
I vividly remember a Ken in Chicago. Maybe I'm just misremembering the security guard part. But I remember it because I talked probably 2 or 3 people I talked to the most were Don on the road. He was a trucker, and then Ken.
Right.
And there's like one other probably.
I was thinking you meant security guard at the tower.
No.
Okay.
No, I believe back in the day. Boom. Oh, for my sake, he can become the security
If
guard.
you want to improvise, if you want to do some improv work. All right, so there's the check-in. Oh, I don't have the buzzer because I just got off the air in Milwaukee, and I forgot the buzzer. But I'll roll back and get it. But all right, so we did the check-in.
I don't have my bell. Well, please grab the buzzer. Max Armstrong also listening. Welcome back.
Oh, Max,
for tuning in.
Hi, Max. We still have to get Max on.
You're gonna have plenty of time because next week is my last week for the foreseeable future on this show.
Yeah, let's clear that up because you panicked. Some people panicked last week because we kind of threw that in at the end, and they thought it was the demise of the entire podcast.
No,
and that is
no.
That is not happening. You are going on paternity leave.
Well, there's a couple things happening. So next week after Monday, Tuesday, at some point after our show next week, my wife is giving birth. So that's just happening.
On the show, that'll be great.
Yeah, it's going to be live. It'll be great.
Okay.
I may get coffee beforehand this time. I'm not sure.
Please do.
But so that's happening. But then also a couple things. Just no one really December podcast numbers are usually pretty bad.
Right. Yeah.
So I figure if I'm going to take, I want to take a couple weeks off to totally be immersed with family time. Even though this is fun and I enjoy doing this, I don't want to have anything on my calendar at all. So I'm going to give it a few weeks and figure, people got holiday stuff going on. Hopefully we won't be missed too terribly much.
Right.
And then we'll jump back in January. So I will jump back. So what I'm thinking is I'll probably jump back in the second week of January because the first week in January, I'm going to Las Vegas.
Oh, wow. Mr. I'm on paternity leave. Now I'm going to Vegas.
Yeah. I have been a technology and science journalist at the Consumer Electronics Show for the last 4 years.
Yes,
and I was invited. I just found out literally on Tuesday night, I've been invited back with my old Curiosity Daily co-host, Ashley Hamer, my esteemed friend and colleague. So we'll be jet setting out there for just 3 days. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. And
Congrats.
so maybe I can check in. Maybe I can correspond while I'm there.
Well, I know I looked at because listen, I've already replaced you. So December next week you are doing the show, which is very exciting. And then the 12th and the 19th, I have a guest host. And then we're off on the 26th and the 2nd.
Oh, perfect.
So so we're going to do a couple and just right before the holidays and then take, of course, the Christmas, New Year break off and move on from there. But
so that works out. Like I said, second week in January, that lines up with the schedule.
Right. And next week you will meet the person who will be filling in for you.
Will
weeks. Yeah, you will.
Wait, is my new child going to be filling in for me?
No, your old child is going to be filling in. Because he's like, my father and my mother will be completely obsessed with this new baby that's coming. And suddenly I'll be on the ash heap of older siblings, like every older sibling just gets pushed aside when the new baby comes. So he is going to be on. We're going to eat eggs and toast. We are going to talk about trucks exclusively. And it should be a good time. I think most people will enjoy it. Me and a 2-year-old, because they will finally say that I have a mental match, someone who I am equal to. What Bourbon County stout are you drinking this eve?
I'm drinking the 2021 Bourbon County stout, just straight up
a regular old baseline stout.
Regular old baseline.
Fine. That's a fine pick.
What are you drinking?
I'm having a little apple whiskey with some apple cider. I don't know what it's called. It's an apple cocktail. It's a fall harvest.
I said to my wife right before this, I was like, I really want a Bourbon County stout, but I don't want to drink any of the ones that I have because I'm running low. And she's like, it doesn't make any, I was going to
say running low. When are you going to run out?
So I have 3 original BCSs. I have a 2021, which I'm now drinking, a 2019 and a 2016.
Okay.
And then I've got
the 16 you should drink. It only goes 5 years.
I know. Oh, Vice of Miami podcast had the 2022 BC crop on Saturday. Yeah, good stuff indeed.
That is so excellent. I finished I finished the one that we opened for last week. I finished it the next day. It was so good.
Nice.
So good.
Nice.
So much better when I had left it out a little while, and I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about beer again, but it got a little more room temperature and some of the flavors got released a little more. And I was like, hello. It was very tasty.
You know, I busted out the 2-year barley wine reserve over the weekend.
Wow.
And I'd had it in the fridge for like a couple hours, and I took it out and I was like, you know what? Frankly, not cold enough. Which surprised me. But so I literally just capped it, corked the bottle, stuck it back in the old fridge, took it out stuck it in the freezer, took it out 20 minutes later. It was immaculate.
Really?
And I think actually being in the freezer, flattening it just a little bit helped.
Okay.
So pro tip for the 2-year barley wine reserve.
Pro tip. What's next on the hit list?
Wedding. Well, we haven't gotten to the first one, but so we've talked through the schedule.
Number one?
Wedding.
Yeah, we talked through the schedule. Yeah, okay. No, we're talking through the schedule. So have no fear. I know at the end you made it was kind of fatalistic that you were like, we're done. This is our last one. We're only got 2 more weeks. And no, you're taking a well-deserved break for your new baby.
Deserved.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Boy, oh boy. Okay. Deserved.
I'm a learned man, Brian.
Are you really?
Yep.
Learned?
Yep.
Why are you saying it like that?
Because I'm learned. That's how learned people say it.
Learned people say it that way?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll try not to whip your ass. Wow, there's that RSV coming back to haunt me.
Wow, indeed.
That was karma striking me down for being horrible. Yeah, we went to a wedding this weekend. I was well, first of all, just a quick gloss over. You said you had a nice Thanksgiving?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Did you go to your parents' house?
No, we hosted my in-laws.
Oh, that's right. Your in-laws came.
Yeah,
How was that?
No, it was great. You know, I figured it wasn't like segment worthy because there was nothing
happened.
Note happened. But my niece is about 4 months older than my son, so we got to see two 2-year-olds interact, which is
nice.
Double the fun of one 2-year-old. It's amazing.
How was the sharing between the children?
That was great. I have a whole video of him continually giving her stuffed animals, and then she's like, "No, I don't want that," and like slapping it down, and he just like totally no sells it, and he just kind of like blankly looks, and then he's like, and then like grabs another one, and just does it for like a minute, and then finally is like, okay, and then he goes and plays with cars. I'm just
good for him. He's learning very early that women are fickle.
Oh,
good morning. That's right.
That just got us canceled. We're no longer on Spotify. At least we can still post this podcast on Twitter because Elon Musk stands for free speech, Brian.
Yeah, he doesn't care. We'll go to the hellscape of free speech. We're not afraid.
Sure.
Not afraid of anything. My Thanksgiving ties into the wedding story because my lovely wife and daughter were both wildly ill on Thanksgiving.
What? No.
Yes. So the virus had leapt from me to Debbie. I don't know how Molly got it, but she got it and lost her voice. So Molly was at home asleep at her apartment on Thanksgiving. Debbie stayed here by herself, sleeping all day on Thanksgiving. And I quickly went out to see my brothers and my mom at the country club. And yeah, so thanks. So Saturday, I am making Thanksgiving dinner here.
Oh, this
Saturday. We're having another Thanksgiving on Saturday. So that is that. But that ties into the wedding because Molly was slated to be the maid of honor on Saturday at this wedding, which we had been very well. Debbie, I tuned out 90% of it. The last year has been a lot of drama surrounding this wedding. It turned out, I will say this at the outset, it was a beautiful affair. But it had been going up to it, there had been a lot. And Molly was very, over the last year, very intent on being the best maid of honor she could be and helping her friend have the perfect wedding. And it was going to be wonderful. And every detail was agonized over. And by agonized over, I mean, I would hear her talking to Debbie and I would go upstairs because it was just too much.
So wait, I don't want any spoilers, but did you stand in as the maid of honor?
Well, I've got, I'm looking pretty good, I think. Molly must be listening. She says, do not say anything bad about the wedding. I am not. I said the wedding was fantastic. It was beautiful. It was in Burlington, Wisconsin. So originally we were going to it's east of or west of Kenosha. So yes, I did not have to put on the dress. So Molly had lost her voice. She could not, she was barely talking.
Oh no.
Yeah, she dropped Walter off here on Friday and like the worst laryngitis you can imagine. And I could tell she wasn't feeling good. So we were going to stay overnight up in Burlington. And then I was like, well, it's only like an hour and 10 minutes away. And it was going to, between the hotel and the dogs, it was going to cost us like 500 extra bucks. And I was like, that's insane to drive it. I drive farther than that to do the shows in Milwaukee and I drive home.
Yeah.
I'm not getting all liquored up at the wedding. So we decided we're going to go. Now, I tried to stay out of Molly's business because I know when she gets sick, she has a hard time, like all of us, all of us do when we get sick. And she had worked so hard and the bride had worked hard. So anyway, we're driving up there and it's fine. It's a beautiful day. It was like, I was reminded of your wedding day, which was in late October and had great weather. This was in mid-November and it was 55 or 60 degrees. It was beautiful. So we get there and it's a cool little venue in Burlington called the Mercantile. And it's all happening in one place. It's kind of this big loft space and the ceremony is going to be in the same room and every day, again, I wish I had something to complain about, but I didn't at this point. So I'm going up there and we get there in time, but we stop. We left early. So we stop at Kenosha, get ourselves a little $2.99 gas at Woodman's because you can't beat $2.99 gas at Woodman's. Drove over to Starbucks. We drive into Burlington and I'm following Waze. Waze doesn't, I guess, know that the main bridge in Burlington is out to cross the river. So thankfully, I'm okay with navigational skills. I get us there. The ceremony starts, and everybody looks terrific. The bride and the groom come out, and it's funny because they're young. The bride is Molly's age, and I think the groom and his friends are a couple years younger. And so some of the groomsmen look like little kids. they're wearing their rented tuxes and they look like they're going to prom. And I'm like, well, one of them's getting married. And, and the bride came out and she looked gorgeous and Molly looked terrific. So the ceremony goes off and it's great because they hired, now see this, I got to start marketing myself more as an officiant because they had an officiant, just a regular lady. She was dressed up. She was nice. Nice ceremony, could have been a little more personal, throwing in a laugh here or there, but that's just me. That's my style. Well, there was no Ric Flair impression, let's just say, and that's my stock in trade, throwing in a little something.
Missed opportunity right there.
It is definitely a missed opportunity. Well, then we find our table and we're sitting with people we don't know. And most of them, they all lived in the town we used to live in. And it was funny because, I was just going to say I'm go with the flow, but everybody knows that's not true. But they had the open bar. They had a couple signature drinks. So I had a drink. They had the cooler. The beer was full of Spotted Cow from New Glarus and some other, everything was nice. And I guess the caterer that works with this venue does Mexican food, like tacos. So there was going to be a taco bar. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. There's going to be a taco bar. And so for during cocktail hour, they brought out chips and guacamole and salsa and little empanada kind of things. And it's terrific. And we're sitting there. Here's the part that I did not enjoy was making small talk with people I didn't know at the table. That's because I don't like to make small talk. And I was doing my best. And Debbie, God bless her, Debbie doesn't like to make small talk either. But we were very nice. Everything was good. And it all went surprisingly well. The taco bar was great. They had steak, pork, or ground beef, and then they had vegetarian stuff. So I had some tacos. The only bad part about it was the tacos were really good, and I had one of each, and then I wanted more, but I didn't want to look like a pig, so I didn't go back up to the buffet and get more tacos.
No, mistake. You made several mistakes already.
All
No.
right, what are the point them out to me?
Well, first of all, you were probably seated at the table where you don't know anybody because everybody knows you're such a good conversationalist. This happens to me, Brian. I
Oh,
get
I
put with
don't believe
people.
that's true.
I get put with the people that don't know the people because people are just like, Cody, you're gonna be the life of the party. One of the most fun weddings I ever went to, I believe I was 21, maybe 22, was in the north suburbs, in my friend's house. And I went with my girlfriend at the time. Didn't know anybody at the table. I was the life of the party. Dude, now granted, I was 20. So different than, being my age now or your age now or whatever. Like, past 30, it's like, I don't want to talk to anybody I don't know. Maybe, but I don't know. I still try to find some fun in it. Second thing, always gorge yourself on the food. Dude, oh my God, Thanksgiving, I had like 3 full plates of mashed potatoes and meat.
Oh,
I just went whole hog, and I was okay with that. No shame. No shame.
see, I should, because one of the guys at the table went back for a couple more tacos, and I was like, oh, I want to go get more tacos.
Do you mind if I ask, 'cause I've never been to a wedding with tacos. Was this a cultural fit with the couple or?
Yes, because the groom is Hispanic,
Okay.
and but I also think that's the catering that this guy who works with the venue does. But yeah, it fit it though. It was funny because some of the more anglicized people that were sitting at our table were doing that thing where they were like, "Oh, it's nice to have something unique," and da, 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 and oh, and they're eating tacos with a fork and a knife. I was like, "Okay, that's fine." I thought everything was great, and so then it's time for the toasts, and it, they did it a little different. They had the bride's parents gave a toast, then the groom's parents gave a toast, and then the best man gave a toast. And he did a good job. He needed his notes though. He had notes on his phone. He was using his notes. And then Molly got up, and everybody in the wedding knew that Molly's voice deal. And I don't know, there must be some showbiz gene that runs through the family, because as sick as she was, she delivered. No notes, no nothing. I know she had rehearsed this toast with Debbie numerous times, and she knocked it out of the park. Her voice, her voice, it was hard to hear, only because I knew how hard it was for her to talk. Not her message was not hard to hear, but the
It was
fact that
difficult.
her voice was just, and her volume was fine. She had a microphone and stuff. I'm listening to it going, oh man, that must hurt.
You were empathetic.
I
The
was
the
very
difficulty, it
empathetic,
was
Cody.
difficult empathetically for you to
Yes, it was hard.
listen to this
Exactly.
well delivered speech, knowing how much physical anguish it she had to fight through
Yeah,
to get
and then knowing how
together.
sick she was.
Yeah,
But
dude.
she finished, and it was great, and then we said our hellos to the bride and the groom and the bride's parents, and, then the dancing started, and we hightailed it out of there, because we were like, "We have to get home," because Walter was here, and our dogs were here, and they were sitting around. So, I love to drive fast. I love it. Love it, love it. I'm good at it. We got about literally 2 miles from home. And I make a turn, and the guy in front of me turns left. I turn behind him, and he almost like stops. He's going so slow. So I whip around him, and all of a sudden, boom, the lights come on. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, well, I can't argue it. I know I'm busted. But then it turns out they were running a little scam-a-llama, because the officer came to the car, and I had my hands up on the steering wheel. I had my wallet sitting on the dashboard. And he's like, you know why I stopped you? I go, yeah. He goes, well, you were going 47 into 30 when you passed those people. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. Where are you coming from? A wedding in Wisconsin. Oh, long drive. Yeah, yeah. And Debbie, I could tell Debbie is seething because all she knows is this is going to cost us money. And he goes, well, here's the deal. I'm on a special patrol here. And so I'm not going to write you a regular ticket. I'm going to write you this auxiliary ticket that's kind of like a parking ticket. And Debbie's in the glove compartment trying to find the insurance and the registration. He's like, ma'am, you don't need any of that because nobody's going to know about this. I'm going to give you this ticket and you're going to pay it just like you'd pay a parking ticket. And it doesn't go on your record. It doesn't, the insurance doesn't know nobody. And I'm like, oh, you son of a gun. You guys are just running a hustle to make money. You don't care how fast I was going. You just want money. So I get the ticket and, $75. And then I sped the rest of the way home. That's right. I peeled out right in front of him, just like Smokey and the Bandit. So that's it. It was a very nice wedding. I was, even if Molly hadn't yelled at me via text, all caps, to not say anything bad, I had nothing bad to say about it because it was lovely.
You're just so unpredictable, Brian.
Well, no, listen, what am I going to do? Badmouth a wedding that my daughter was in for her best friend that's been at our house millions of times, that's helped us move? No, it was a very nice wedding. It all came off. Molly fulfilled her maid of honor duties in an exemplary fashion. People were talking. People at our table had been at the shower because they knew Debbie, and they were all saying what a lovely shower it was that Molly had done. And I got a nice laugh out of the flower girls. Flower girls are always funny because they're little, and there were two of them. There were the groom's nieces. And so they had the baskets of rose petals, that they're supposed to be tossing out as they walk up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were both enamored with the soloist who was playing guitar. Very good. He's playing guitar. And so at one point, the older one did start throwing the rose petals. And then the youngest one was really watching the musician, but then when she turned the corner and saw that her sister was throwing rose petals, she's just grabbing fistfuls and whipping them down on the ground.
Nice.
And it was hilarious. I was laughing like a lunatic. But
nice.
Yeah, so that was a big wedding. Didn't cost me $500, but it did cost me $75.
Well,
for the thing. But what are you going to do?
That's not bad for a ticket.
No, I made it home in record time. So there you go. That's the wedding.
Well,
next,
you ruined my day
again.
Yep.
How? What this time?
So for the longtime listener who's been around for a while, last year I talked about how I don't have a 10-foot ladder, and it was difficult for me to put Christmas lights up on the gutter.
Correct.
Along the gutter on the outside of the house. And I said something about, I was like, they got these poles you can buy and you can like clip the gutter clip to it and you just do that and then get the lights up. And you were like, yeah, do that. Just get one of those poles with the gutter clip things. And I was like, do they work? Aren't they like really shoddy and crappy and whatever? You're like, no, they're great. They're the greatest thing. Brian.
I don't know if I said it was the greatest thing, but I have one and I use it.
Well, then I need to borrow yours because the one I bought blows. The one I bought was awful. I spent 20 minutes outside and I just clip it and then the clip would fly off, or I couldn't detract the pole from it. Now, granted, I went to Menards, so it was probably the worst quality pole clipper I could have gotten, but it was like $30. So I'm going to return it to Menards and I'm going to say, if this doesn't work, you guys suck. And when I was at Menards,
and they're going to go, what do you mean it doesn't work? It's a pole.
No, last week. All right. Like 3 days ago, I went and I was in Menards and I was kind of in a hurry and I'm like, oh, there's a box of these clips. And it says on the thing, yeah, use the pole to do the clips, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, great. I get home. I realize that there's only clips in this box. There's no pole. There's just the clips. It's like, that's stupid. So I go back to Menards today and I go to Menards.
Can I ask how big a box it was that you thought it contained a pole too?
Well, it's an extension pole, right? So it seemed long enough to have some kind of extension, but okay. So but it was too little to probably realistically have a pole. My fault. So I get back to Menards today, and I get back to the aisle, and I see the box with the 50 clips, which is a brand that does not exist anywhere else on Menards. I'm looking up and down the aisle. I'm looking at the lights. I'm looking at the pole. They got one pole. Nothing matches this one extra box of clips. So I go to a guy and I was like, "Hey, excuse me, do you know if these clips work with this pole?" He's like, honestly, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about that." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." I was like,
Thank
"Well,
you,
do you know
sir.
if you guys sell the pole like by this brand by any chance? Because it's very different. It's like a black and orange box. Everything else is green for Christmas. Everything is green
Ooh,
or red.
that's a
So,
leftover Halloween clip box.
dude, it's like it looks absurdly different from everything. So that's why I'm just like, am I looking in the wrong place? Like, are you sold out? So it's just like, do you have any that I was like, do you know if you guys sell the pole that matches these clips? And he's just like, do you just want me to get somebody do you just want me to find somebody that's an expert on Christmas decorating or something like that? And I was like,
Wow.
whoa, no, I wanted you to tell me if you see a box that looks like this box, which like 4-year-olds can do in their
Right.
toys,
Yes,
right?
I'm sorry that are not happy with your job at Menards.
Yeah. So I ruined his life apparently. And so I get this poll, but dude, it is the least, it was excruciating. And I was like, this problem is I saved it. I saved the decorating of the outside for today. Cause Sunday I could have done it. And I was like, no, I'm gonna wait
Oh,
till Tuesday because
no.
Tuesday it's gonna be 50s, and which it was. It was
Right,
unseasonably warm. And now it's raining, and tomorrow it's gonna be 20.
right.
So now I have to go back to Menards, return all this crap, buy a 20-foot extension ladder, which I should have done in the first. Like, all of this would have been solved if I had just bought a big ladder last year. Like, I just should have, and I didn't, like an idiot. So now I'll go get the ladder. But I do want to say that if you want to use the Menards pole clip attached thing, either something is wrong with my gutters, or like the leaf guard is blocking it, or it
Oh,
just
you have a leaf
flows.
guard up there?
Yeah.
That might have something to do with it.
But the clip went in pretty well. Like
Okay.
it did wedge in there okay. So I don't think that was it.
Huh.
Anyway,
That's weird.
uh
See, I
I
bought my
had
pole at American Sale, and it's
what is
red and
that?
green.
What's
What's
American
American Sale?
Sale?
Oh, they're the best place for any sort of decorations. The patio furniture decorations, Christmas trees, patio sets, whirlpools, all kinds of stuff. I've had this pole for a long, long time. I've had this
Uh,
pole, boy, since I moved back from California. Probably had this pole since 2008.
all right. Gutter pole. Let's search. I'm at
A clip.
25 piece ladderless light hang clips. Yes, I'll accept cookies. Good lord, the internet sucks. Um
Well, see, as you were debating your lighting, Friday I decided, because it was nice out Friday, I went out to the garage to check all my lights because I knew some of the lights were dead. I was going to have to probably get some lights, and I went through and I realized, oh, for one of the big bushes, I had bought new lights last year and I'd gotten some others. So I'm going through. I'm like, oh, everything works. Okay, I know I have to order, or I have to get some lights for the huge bushes out front that I use the pole to decorate.
yeah.
Well, all of a sudden, I think to myself, well, self, it's 60 degrees. There's not going to be a lot of 60-degree days. So why don't you put up everything except the lights that you have to order? So by Friday evening, my exterior was decorated.
Yeah, that's
And
smart.
I felt the happiest I've ever felt.
I was hosting in-laws until
I
Saturday.
understand. I
So
understand.
I didn't have the luxury. By the way, I checked the brand on the 25 piece ladderless light. It's literally the same brand as what I bought.
Yeah,
It's
they're probably the same.
it's the exact same pole. So I had the same pole as you, and I hate it. And you must
Wow.
have some wizardry.
Well,
If
in all fairness, I've never used it to put clips on the gutter. I extend it all the way to loop lights around a tree.
oh, then okay, that's fair. That is fair. That is fair.
At my old house in California, it was so nice because it was a ranch, and the way the roof came down, I could stand and clip the clips onto the gutter. I didn't have to get on a ladder at all. It was perfect.
See, and Roger's asking how high up are your gutters. So The gutters. So we have a 2-story house, but we do have a slanted roof over the porch, the front porch, right, for the first floor. You'd think I could reach that because I'm tall, but the problem is that that's above. There's it's like 8 feet from the deck to the
Right.
ceiling, and then you've got the deck another couple feet. So if I stand on the top of a step ladder, of like a 4-step step ladder, if I stand on the top of it, I'm still a few feet short, and I'm 6 feet tall. So it's probably like 12 or 14 feet above from the ground to that first gutter. So I cannot do the step ladder. I've gone to the top of my step ladder. Doesn't
Well,
work.
I have a giant step ladder if you want to borrow it.
Well, now Mike just asked, how am I going to get the 20-foot ladder home? Which
That's
is
good.
a question I should have asked myself and
Good
did
question.
not until you did. So now I don't know actually how I would get a larger ladder at home. My neighbor,
Are you talking about an extension ladder?
well, I don't know. Maybe I just need a 10-foot ladder like they use in WWE to jump off tables.
That's
I
what
don't
I have.
know. That's what you have, an extension
Yeah.
ladder.
No, I have a 10-foot step ladder. Big
10-foot
heavy duty ladder. It'll hold up to like 500 pounds. It's a monster.
How'd you get it home?
I spent a fortune on it. Put it in the car. Trying to remember what I was driving at the time. It was either my Roadmaster station. It was probably the Roadmaster station wagon.
Okay.
So it was a giant vehicle.
I can fit like 8 feet in my car. I'm pretty sure.
That's what she said.
That's true.
That is true. That is what she said.
She was.
She shouldn't have said that. It was very unseemly.
Well, there's that also. Okay. All right.
You know what? You're a man of means, Cody. This is my suggestion for you.
I'm not a man of means.
You're a man of wealth and taste.
That's neither of those are true.
I think you should hire one of these companies that will come and they'll decorate your entire house.
Shut up. That's insulting.
They will do everything.
You know what? I'm the Clark Griswold of my family in that I'm obsessed with Christmas. I'm bad at it, but I insist on doing it myself, and everything goes wrong. I always do something stupid and wrong. So that's just me. That's just my fate.
I feel like Clark Griswold every year as I rig up the power situation for my outdoor illumination, because we have one outlet and it's by the back door. So I'm running cords off timers all the way around the house on both sides. And I've got stuff going everywhere, and if the outlet in the backyard goes out, we're done. Because everything, the deck and the whole front of the house is off these 2 plugs and 2 timers that are hanging off in the back.
Unreal.
It works.
Yeah. Well,
So wait, I'm to blame because you can't hang hooks on your gutter?
Yes, you're to blame for my incompetence, Brian.
Huh, that makes sense.
I've been spending
join the club. Just put me on the hit list.
I've been spending a lot of time on Twitter. Okay, I'm following Elon Musk's lead. All right, if something happens, it's definitely not my fault.
Really?
Definitely not my fault.
Did Apple kick you off too?
Well, if Apple keeps coming after us, maybe we'll just have to launch our own Apple Podcasts competitor.
Maybe that's it. We'll take it to Hive or Mastodon or somewhere else.
Are you on those?
I'm on them only because I wanted to make sure that my handle was safe.
Oh, you know what? I think I did that on Hive.
So I went on Hive and I went on Mastodon and I got Brian Noonan Show on there. So the branding is all, I learned that from you. I'm branding.
That's
so I did all that. I don't know how to use them.
In case we lost anybody, a lot of people are talking about Twitter collapsing with Elon Musk in charge because of insane things happening over there. So people are like, where do we go? Where do the 300 million people that have been hanging out in this hell world for the last several years that is Twitter, where do we go? And so there's this site called Hive that is bad. It's in beta and I hate it. And there's
I don't understand it at all.
Yeah. And there's a site called Mastodon, which is worse.
Yes.
I actually joined Mastodon more than 10 years ago. And
really?
I have no idea how to log. Yeah, I joined 1 or 2 servers. I think I sent a couple masts or whatever they call them. And
I don't know.
I downloaded the app and I'm like, I literally don't know how to even log in. how to find my username. And then my friend was like, well, if you were on that long ago, your server's probably down. I'm like, there's a server? Like, what the?
There's a
Like,
million servers. I had to pick which server I wanted to be on. And I'm like, what? Huh? And there's
yeah.
some servers that have like 4 people and some servers that have, a whole bunch of people. And I was like, I don't know. So who knows? Who knows? I can't do anymore with the social media. I can't.
I hate being on Twitter enough as it is. I'm only
Yeah.
there because I'm used to it.
Yeah, that's basically it. And yeah, I got nothing. I got no desire. But I didn't want anybody grabbing my handle. So that's why I went on there and staked my claim. Who knows? Who knows? Well, so tomorrow you're going, but now are you going to decorate? Because see, I picked Friday because I had been watching the weather. And now I know tomorrow my lights came today, the last ones I needed. I got to put them up tomorrow and it's going to be miserable, but it should only take me about an hour to get done what I need to get done.
If I look at the 10-day forecast, tomorrow is going to be miserable. Thursday will be a little better. Friday, the highest 51. So I might aim for Friday.
That might be your day.
And then Saturday and Sunday aren't awful. Well, they're not great, but they're better than tomorrow. So I'll take a couple days off, and in those couple days,
if you can get it done Friday, that's December 2nd. That's still very respectable.
I would say so, and then that way I've got Wednesday all day. Well, Thursday I'm seeing my personal trainer because I'm getting all swole. And then tomorrow,
are you getting swole again? You're gonna get swole again?
I've been seeing a personal trainer for like 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Thick neck.
It's a thick head.
Just gonna be
thick head. And then that opens up the rest of the day tomorrow for me to watch the World Cup.
Yeah. Here we go.
See what I did there?
I did. I like that segue. You're learning after all these years.
Yeah. So I know you're American, so you're probably not a soccer fan.
I am American. I don't dislike soccer. I coached youth soccer for a couple of years.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I actually went through referee training as well. I had the uniform and everything.
Really?
Yes. Why would I lie about that? So I don't dislike soccer. I actually was talking about this earlier. I think it might be generational. Soccer was not big when I was growing up. So I never started to follow it. I followed it a little as Molly was growing up and playing soccer. And then that was like when Mia Hamm was a big deal on the U.S. women's national team, and watched a few games. And I knew the U.S. was playing Iran today, and I know the U.S. won. I know their big hotshot has a pelvic contusion and is day-to-day and may not play Saturday against the Netherlands. So I know some things, but I'm not glued to it. I'm not enamored by the World Cup as a lot of people are.
Well, I like that take. It's so much better than this other American take that I'm so used to.
American take?
The one's like, soccer's so boring, nothing happens, they just run around, it's like slow motion hockey, blah, 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 blah. Which I've gone on record on this show before as saying, if you compare soccer to American football, American football, it's like 8 seconds of like people running into each other and then a throw, and then they stop for like 30 seconds to a minute to like slowly meander over to their little sporting spot. And then there's a commercial break for Budweiser for like 8 minutes. And that's basically the NFL. Like the average NFL game, we did a study on this on curiosity.com, by the way, back when I worked there. The average NFL game only has like 14 minutes of action or something like that over like a 2-hour span.
Really?
Don't quote me on the 14, but it's under 20, 100%. Under 20. You can look up the study. Just look up how many minutes. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to
do it.
Oh, that's perfect.
And I will say I only agree with a tiny bit of that meathead American take that you said. There's something fundamentally wrong with me when a game ends in a tie. There should be a winner. Even in hockey, when the game ends in a tie, they play till there's a winner. That's the only thing. I think, I have nothing against the pace. Those guys are running like lunatics. But ending 0-0 or 1-1, that doesn't seem right to me.
She actually liked that because it raises the stakes. I think.
What stakes?
The stakes. So they're winning the game. You want to win the game.
Of course, you want to win the game, but they don't. They end up in a tie.
Hold on. First of all, Wall Street Journal article from 2010, 11 minutes of action in an NFL game. 11 minutes where they're actually doing something versus 90 minutes straight with like no stoppages unless someone gets like
Halftime.
Brutally injured. Okay, I'm sorry. There's a half.
Well, if you're gonna make a cogent point, you have to be accurate.
I don't make cogent points though.
All right.
That's your job, Brian.
All right. Well, then I helped you. I made the cogent point that there is a halftime.
Fair. 45 minutes of nonstop action, followed by a short break, followed by 45 minutes of nonstop action. Plus, if the other time it's really stop is if there's like something major happens, occasionally like a yellow, like, okay, a couple like little things, but basically play continues, right?
Sure.
And
penalty kicks slow things down a little bit.
Stuff like that. But then they add a predetermined number of minutes based at the end on how many stoppages there were. So like for today's US-Iran game, they added 9 minutes to the end. So it ended up being a 54-minute second half. Pretty crazy. So way more action. And then you compare it to stuff like baseball, which is like also just like brutally slow, like stuff like that. Like, and I'm not like trying to necessarily poo-poo the American sports, but if your argument is going to be, oh, nothing happens, then like that's the wrong argument. That's the bad argument. Yeah. If your argument is something else, okay, fine. But if your argument is they don't score enough, fair. That's fine. As you said,
sure.
I have watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, and across those 5 games, there were 3 goals.
Yes. So, well, the U.S. has only scored 2 goals in what? How many games have they played? 3, 4, 3?
So I watched U.S.-UK. That was shutout 0-0. Argentina-Mexico. Argentina scored twice. Spain-Germany, I believe, was scoreless. Portugal-Uruguay. Portugal scored once. Well, they scored twice. I know they took one back. I don't remember if the final score was 2-0 or 1-0. And then I think the final score was 2-0. That's right, because there was like kind of a bogus penalty, like pretty bogus that Portugal ended up getting the second point in. But I think that, like, I don't know, part of me thinks that FIFA kind of really wants the Portugal star player to finally get a World Cup because this is his 5th
Messi?
World. Yeah, Messi. Yeah. Is it Messi?
See, look at that. Yeah, it's Messi.
This is 5th World Cup. That means he's been in the World Cup for 20 years.
Man, well,
it's crazy.
Maybe it's better. Then, Mike says they have to stop the clock for flopping, which is true. There's a lot of flopping in soccer.
Some flopping.
I enjoy the flop.
What is flopping?
Flopping is when the guys pretend they got run over. They fly onto the ground.
Oh, but they don't stop the clock for that.
They don't?
No.
All right.
No, they never stop the clock. The clock always keeps running.
Clock keeps going.
Anyway, where was I? So anyway, okay. So I like that you don't take the like stupid American like.
I rarely take the meathead approach.
Yeah, I don't like that. All right, cool. So we're there. Yeah, I love soccer. I think it's great. I don't watch it. I should watch it more often. I would like to, but I don't have time or that much energy. But when the World Cup comes around, and hey, I've got a lot of time on my hands these days because I'm not really working right now. So I'm just basically staying home and watching World Cup all the time.
Now, are you indoctrinating your young son to the world of football with a U?
Dude, my dad was way ahead on indoctrinating him. That was like way pre-World Cup. He was having my son watch all kinds of soccer.
Well, that's good because there's a good chance he'll probably play it.
He's absolutely playing it. Are you kidding?
You know, most little kids play soccer.
Yes.
And it is the most hilarious thing to watch because they all run to the ball like a hive.
Yeah.
And it's insane watching little kid soccer.
I can't wait to watch.
You should coach. See how your patience holds out.
I shouldn't admit this, but my dad went to college on a soccer scholarship.
Did he really?
Yeah. So he's definitely a soccer guy. And then when he and my mom lived in Turkey for a couple of years after they graduated college to teach English, he played soccer with a bunch of Turkish dudes over there where like they're serious, you know, because it's not the US, really serious about soccer. So, you know, he wasn't like a professional by any means, but he played a good amount of soccer through his life. He was the principal of the elementary school where I went to preschool, and I played soccer.
Okay.
when I was in
Did
the
you?
preschool when I was like 6. And I scored 1 goal all season, and it was an own goal. But in my defense, I was passing to the goalie, and I was very far away. And the goalie was right there. Like, he should have.
Why
Like,
would you pass to the goalie if you were
the,
that far away?
a lot of dude in FIFA they do it all the time. So I guess I was FIFA quality passing to my goalie, and he just wasn't paying attention. And then like everyone's looking at me like, "What'd you do?" And I'm just like, "Dude, he was right." And of course, I'm 6. I'm like,
Sure.
"Dude, the guy was literally like, he was right on the ball." Like, of course, like I looked at, I don't know. Anyway, so that's when my dad decided to retire me from soccer. But
Because
hopefully,
you were arguing at 6?
hopefully my son has better genes that for soccer than me. But that was a bit of a disaster. Anyway, the point of the story is, so my wife is the driving force in us watching.
Oh, okay.
Because, well, she lived in Latin America and
Sure,
many
she
other
loves
countries.
she loves the Spaniards.
Yeah, I mean, so the Spaniards are actually in Europe.
Yeah, oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, they'd be
she's
in España.
Well, she's in Argentina.
Those would be Argentinians.
Yeah, those would be Argentinians.
Okay.
So she's in Argentina. So, and
Your wife's in
Uruguay.
Argentina now?
Who's in Argentina now?
Is your wife in Argentina now?
No, she's in the next room.
All right. I was like, wow, she's giving birth in the rainforest?
So that's in Brazil. Argentina is a bit further south.
Yeah, all right. Listen, this isn't Geography Today with Brian and Cody.
It kind of should be. I'm kind of regretting that it's not at this point. The point is, she wants
Brazil's the big one.
Brazil's a big country. It is.
Yeah.
She's put some Argentina games on the calendar, some Uruguay games, a couple other ones, and lo and behold, she wasn't a big fan of the American commentators, so she's like, "We're watching this on Telemundo," and I'm like, "Okay."
A goal!
Go, dude! It is so much better on Telemundo.
Do you speak Spanish?
No.
Oh, okay. No, they're very energetic on Telemundo when they're calling soccer games, football games.
I can pick up a word here and there, but like just the energy and like they're just like chatting during plays, and they'll just like start cracking each other up and cracking jokes. And I don't really even know what they're saying, but I just get into like the fact that they're having so much fun. And then my wife will occasionally translate.
I was going to say, does she translate for you?
Oh,
or are there subtitles?
No, there's some phrase, I guess, where like if a player makes a shot and it doesn't go in or something, they say some phrase that roughly translates to "and nothing happened." And they keep saying it, so you just keep hearing them say like "and nothing happened." So if you like have never gotten into soccer and you're listening to this or watching this, like I recommend giving it a shot because the World Cup games are great. Now, apparently the kind of preliminary games are often low scoring because things get way more intense and they just get like more hardcore into the finals. So, skip this week if you think a 0-0 won't be fun to watch, but tune in next week for sure when they get into the later matches and just put on Telemundo. What the hell? What do you have to lose? Just put on Telemundo, watch them run around. The energy is great. It's just fun. It's just a really fun time.
I love you reaching out across the borders to try to bring us all together in appreciation of a worldwide sport that is woefully lax here. But I don't think it's as woefully lax here as like when I was a kid. When I was a kid, there wasn't like, I didn't even know about soccer till I got to high school.
Wow.
And then we had a soccer team at high school. And I was like, what? And that's probably like lacrosse. Like now kids are playing lacrosse when they're real. I didn't know about lacrosse. We knew about football, baseball, basketball.
Right.
Some people knew about hockey, but that was it. So I think though, because of the access that young kids have had to soccer, it has grown exponentially in this country, but it's still nowhere like it was. But if you remember, there have been the Mexican national team has played matches in Soldier Field and sold it out immediately. So because we live in a metropolitan area with a lot of different cultures, there's a lot of people who are very, very into this.
Yeah.
I'm
into it. So actually in 4 years, the World Cup is going to be hosted by North America. Did you know this?
No.
there will be matches in like something like 16 cities.
Really?
Several in California. So I think and there will be not Chicago, but there's one in either I think Kansas City.
Okay.
So Kansas City, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Seattle, I believe Vancouver or Toronto, Mexico City. There's another city on the Mexican border, on the Mexico side, the Mexico-US border that's hosting. But it is in Philadelphia is another one. So they are across the US and Canada and Mexico. So it's the North
Nice.
American like World Cup. So I'm definitely bringing my wife and perhaps my son if we think he's old enough. Perhaps my daughter if we think she can handle it.
Are you going to get a vuvuzela?
You don't think I have one?
I should, but I was dumb to ask.
I don't have
Pardon
a
me.
vuvuzela. I have a
Do you
cloak.
do you have a scarf? Do you have scarves? Are you going to be into your hooliganism? Are they going to go back to the summertime next time instead of this rigged up Qatar deal where they FIFA took boatloads of money to give it to Qatar and then they had to use slave labor to build a city?
Do you know how many people died building?
Yes, a lot. There were over 1,000.
There were like
Now,
6,000.
If you listen to Qatar, they didn't all die building the World Cup stuff. Some of them just died. That's what the Qatari officials say. They have no they don't have any reason to lie, do they?
Talk about FIFA is the most corrupt organization maybe on the planet.
Yep.
It's horrible, horrifying.
There was a John Oliver last week did a big thing about the World Cup, and there's a documentary now on I think it's on Netflix about FIFA and their lack of ethics. Let's just say.
No. They're awful. For what it's worth, I am not. I'm not using illegal streams, but I am using 7-day free trials of services that will allow me to watch Telemundo in order to stream.
Oh, okay.
So you can get there's a streaming service called Fubo. It has like 1 million TV channels. It's like $90 a month.
What?
But yeah, but I got a 7-day free trial. So
good Lord, $90.
Well, it comes with everything. You can watch. There's literally like 1 million channels or something. So, but yeah, I don't know about the scarf thing. I don't know what. I don't even know what scarf I would sport.
Yeah, who are you going to say? Who are you going to support?
Right, because like with the U.S. Iran game today, right? I mean, I'm like, do I want to support the like violent, aggressive nation guilty of like constant human rights violations, or do I want to support Iran? You know?
I see what you did there. That's
let's go,
funny.
dude. I've been saving that one all day. Let's go.
Let me just say this about that.
Away.
At least
the listeners.
At least Joe Biden didn't issue a statement that if they didn't win, they were facing punishment for themselves and their families. So
he didn't. Of course, he didn't issue the statement. It was implied.
Was it?
Yeah, Sleepy Joe. That's all he's doing is just sitting around thinking about all that. Oh, dude, I joined Truth Social.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
Why did you? Hold on. New topic. Why did you join Truth Social?
Because it's hilarious.
Oh my God.
I want to see
Didn't you have to give like your social security number and your ID, and didn't you have to send a $50 pledge to your beloved leader?
Hell no, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything, dude. I've been on it. Well, like because
isn't it scary?
It's utterly terrifying. My friend was sending some screenshots of people saying stuff on there, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what this account is about. So I'd open it up, and it is so extreme. It is just insane people.
Really?
And like, I want to see what Trump is doing because that's fun. It's just like the people. It's like millions of people with red hats just want to have sex with him. And that's their goal in life. Like there's so many memes. It's like you almost don't you can't even believe humanity is this.
Can you give me an example?
Just there's all right, of a Trump tweet or just anything.
Just anything. Not him. I know what he does.
Wall Street Apes. What did they say? There was a tweet the other, they call them truths.
Right. It's America's big tent.
Here's a truth from Wall Street Apes who have 80,000 followers.
Wow.
It reads, where was it? I just had it. Going to bed knowing I'm a pureblood. Retruth this if you are too. Let's see how many people didn't take the government bait and trust the science, but the S is a $sign. So I
Oh,
think it
pure blood,
refers
like
to
they didn't take
vaccines.
the vaccines.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And it's just
Right on.
that's a thing a person said.
Wow. All right. Nice. Hello, Cindy. Cindy jumping on.
It's nuts, dude. It's nuts. So anyway,
So what are you on there just lurking, or have you truthed?
I actually don't. When I get really drunk, I open it up and I just reply with incendiary things to these hyper conservative.
Please tell me you used a fake name though.
Oh God, yeah, fake name, fake profile picture, fake band. Like, no, there's no way to tie it to me except for this podcast. But there is a creepy number of shirtless swole Trump artwork.
Yeah, and he is the exact opposite of that.
Hold on, let me see what I said.
Yeah,
I don't know. Sometimes I just get a mild
give us your
amount of
handle.
amusement by doing stupid things. I'm not sharing my handle. I'm absolutely
Do not share your handle. You share it with me so I can follow you. If I
one time Trump tweeted something and I replied, "Wake up, sheeple," and I added a sound file to some song on my phone that I had because you could just upload files. There was an account that was like, it was like Truth Spotlight will spotlight accounts, and I just put spotlight me next to you, coward, with like 45 exclamation points.
And what? All right, stop. So you truth that out, and what comes back at you?
I have not gotten a single engagement of any kind.
Really?
Yes. Someone posted a picture.
Spotlight me next to you, coward. Doesn't get anything.
Nothing. Someone posted a picture of Joe Biden looking through a window with two girls in the house, and he's like outside. And they truthed, Joe Biden is the creepiest president in American history, and it's not even close. And I tweeted back, I truthed back, that's Mike Rowe, you, and then a really bad profanity, and just never got a reply.
And you didn't get blocked for using the oh, you can use profanity, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, there's some content under review. So I just lost a couple of my truths. I have content under review to make sure it's appropriate. I tweeted at real Donald Trump and just said woke is the opposite of truth with 45 exclamation points for no reason. Just like stupid stuff. Like just stupid. I just do stupid things. I'm what they call in the Dungeons and Dragons landscape a chaotic neutral. That means I'm neither good nor bad. I just tweet stupid things that don't matter because I think it's funny.
Gina says Robbie Rist of the Brady Bunch is on this site and loves to goad Trump supporters too.
Ooh, I'm going to follow Robbie
Maybe
Rist.
You team up with Robbie Rist. That's Cousin Oliver, in case you don't know.
All right.
Yeah, go, hey, Cousin Oliver, what's up, buddy?
So you're not going to join?
No, I'll join. Did you download it to your phone or do you do the desktop?
I do it on my phone. Oh, this Robbie has a Confederate flag as his profile picture. 1,500 followers. Forgotten country, Gulf War USAF veteran, MBA property manager, master mason, MAGA. His entire timeline is retweets of Donald Trump, and a picture of Joe Biden with a mask that has photoshopped on it #1 human trafficker. So
maybe that's not him then.
I'm gonna follow him. I'm absolutely
gonna follow that guy just in case.
I'm 1,000% gonna reply to everything that he says. Did Robbie Rist get banned or something? I don't see Robbie Rist here.
Uh-oh.
Maybe it's Robbie with a Y.
So did you put any, when you signed up, did you put any real information at all?
Absolutely not. Are you kidding? I'd get arrested. Just kidding. No one gets arrested on this hell site. God, it's so stupid. I don't know. I just like wasting people's time. It's stupid. I don't open it. I don't browse. I'm never like, oh, what's going on Truth Social? Like,
what
it's
about your email?
Like if I'm drunk, I'm like, oh no, I have like 4 burner emails. Are you kidding me?
Oh, see, I got to get me a burner email. I got to find out how to do that. I need some burner emails.
Just go to yahoo.com and be like, sign up for an account, and then just sign up for an account. It'd be great.
Wow.
Sorry, I got us. I don't know how we got on this.
I don't know, because you're trolling. You're all truthed out.
I'm truthing, Brian.
I know you're truthing. It's I feel it coming at me through the mics and the cameras. You're truthing.
I might finish this whole bottle.
That's an excellent idea.
And then do 3 edibles and then go on Truth Social and just scream at people.
Man, I hope you are deep. I hope you are a deep cover.
I'm going to get arrested. I can't get arrested. I'm not doing anything illegal.
I was going to say, and nobody's even engaged with you. It's not like you're in flame wars with people.
No one has engaged with me at all. It's
you know why? Because that one, they don't understand all the exclamation points. 2, you're probably writing in, the Queen's English. They don't cotton to that.
Do you know why I do the exclamation point? Because Trump puts an exclamation point at the end of almost all his stuff.
Bye, Raj.
Oh, bye, Roger. I hope I didn't offend you with my Truth Social talk. I thought it was funny. Boredom.
It was funny. All right, I'm going to look into it, but I got to get some burner accounts.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going in as me.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
Huh. No, God, no. No, don't do that.
I think my profile picture is going to be either Pepe Le Pew or Speedy Gonzalez.
Ooh.
Both foreign.
There you go.
Both foreign characters.
There you go.
I've come across the border. Hello. Welcome.
Man.
Montesquieu Lafontaine.
Maybe I'll root for France when the World Cup comes here. I'll just be Montesquieu.
That would be nice. You could just be Montesquieu.
That'd be really
what else is on the list?
The last thing is Israel. I wasn't sure if I should have taken
the last thing is Israel. Yes, we're gonna solve the Middle East crisis. I'm glad you've stuck around, folks, because a lot of times you'll think, boy, these guys are just jibber-jabbering about whatever. Nope. We've been saving the solution to the Middle East crisis for now.
Solution? I hardly knew her.
Good morning.
Oh man.
No, it's just this was so I was hosting an event in Israel last week. I had been with this group a few weeks ago because they were going to do a game, and it was the day that Zoom had the global outage. Do you remember? You probably weren't on Zoom meetings that day.
No. What day was that?
I don't know. It was a few weeks ago.
Was it all day?
No, it was a very short time. Unfortunately, it was a time that all these people from Israel and Canada and North America were trying to get into the Zoom meeting to start the game. It lasted for about 20, 25 minutes.
And this is for a trivia game that you host for any new listeners, right?
Correct. I work for a company called Trivia Hub, and I host events worldwide. And so these people, the company, the woman who booked it is based in Israel, and half of the participants were in Israel. And I just keep saying that because it sounds cool to keep telling everybody I was in Israel.
Sure.
I go, I was jetting around. I'm in Israel. Very nice people. So they rebooked, and the client service people were like, hey, they rebooked for this date. Are you free? We'd like you to host for them again. I was like, yeah, I am free. Okay. So I get on and I'm all set up. Everything's good. The woman comes on a little early, and she's nervous because last time the game didn't happen. And it was nobody's fault. It was technical. It was Zoom's fault. This time she's like, oh, is everything? I said, don't worry. We got it covered. Everything's good. I should know better than to jinx myself. Because for some reason, there was a glitch in the system. And for whatever reason, some people were still registered. It was a whole big cluster thing. But anyway, I'm on Slack talking to back of the house going, hey, people can't get in. They can't register. They can't get into the round. And this has never happened to me in all the games I've done. Nothing like this has happened. And they're in back, we're trying to figure it out. And I'm talking to the people, and I'm apologizing. And I'm trying to keep everybody engaged, and I see the client is getting a little, she's getting flustered because she's like, oh no, the second time things are not going well. You know me. It ends up, I talk to the people in the back. We figure out a way. We play some of the game. but they had a very short window because they had another meeting to get to. We finish it up. And you know how I dwell on things. So this was the day before Thanksgiving. All day, I'm replaying this thing in my head. I'm running it through, going, what could I have done? Did I do something wrong? And then yesterday, we have our meeting at work, and I'm talking to them, and the client service person is like, I was running it through my head all day too. Nobody could figure it out. It was just one of those things. But I'm like, oh no, this, and they refunded this woman her money and, all of that. And everybody was apologizing. And then my boss goes, well, he said, we got a little feedback on the game. And I was like, oh, I can only imagine that you got feedback on the game. He goes, no, two people sent in feedback and they said, there were some technical problems, but our host, Brian, was great and kept rolling with it and kept everything moving. And I'm like, oh, my God.
Nice.
Thank you, folks, because I'm trying not to sweat and I'm trying not to swear because my camera is on and I'm in the room with them. And I'm trying to talk to them, Slack the back of house. I'm trying to read that. I'm trying to figure out in my mind. I'm like, I need to troubleshoot this. And I could troubleshoot it, but I'm also having to keep these people engaged. So it's like, I got too much going on in my brain. My brain sack was hurting. So that was how I tried to help. I tried to help the Middle East.
Phrase again. That's a rough.
What was it? What did I say?
Brain sack. I don't need that in my life.
My brain sack was exploding.
Oh boy.
Did you hear the word of the year is gaslighting?
I did not.
Yes, that came out yesterday. Merriam-Webster said gaslighting is the word of the year.
Really?
You heard me.
That's really bizarre that you would say that.
Why?
That's insanely bizarre because earlier I was thinking about bringing up a topic.
Do it.
No.
Bring it up.
Well,
we got a couple minutes.
Well, nah.
Do it.
Well, why was gaslighting the topic?
Gaslighting was the topic. It was the word of the year because search results for that term had gone up over 1,700% from the year before. And that's Merriam-Webster just goes based on the data. They don't know why more people were searching for it. They don't know anything. They just know there were 1,700% more hits for gaslighting this year than last year.
I have Googled it at least a few times.
Okay, so you're part of the reason then.
Yeah.
So why is it bizarre? Was your wife gaslighting you or were you gaslighting her?
No, nothing at home. Let me just make sure that I've got the definition right. Gaslighting. Yeah, if I put in GAS, manipulating someone to make the impression that reality. Yeah, I've been gaslit before a little bit. Yeah, it's No, at one point in time, I kind of
what happened?
Vaguely felt like I was being gaslit at an employer that I worked for, but I don't know if that's the right term, and that was a separate thing anyway. I have been gaslit in the past in relationships. That was bad.
That's when they do it. It's mostly in relationships, mostly over time. Kevin Lampe, who I've known for years, needs new heroes. I think you need to up the bar a little bit, Kevin, to be quite honest with you. But listen, who am I to tell anybody what to do? Mm-hmm. So, old girlfriends tried to gaslight you, make you think you were crazy?
I've had a little bit of that. Yeah. No, that's I feel like, have you ever felt like you've kind of gaslit yourself? Like you're confident you know something. And here's how I describe it. You're confident you know something. You know you're the expert.
Oh, sure.
And then like you tell somebody a thing and you think to yourself like, I mean, this is right? Like, and that's imposter syndrome. Like that's the term.
Yes, I have imposter syndrome every day.
Oh, me too. So yeah, that.
But I don't think it's the same as gaslighting.
It's not because I've gaslit myself a lot this year. There were many times where I'd be like, "This is the obvious right thing, right?" And then I would think to myself, like, "How can it be that some of the people around me are not realizing how obvious this is?" And I'd be like, Am I crazy? Like I would say it in meetings actually.
No, but to be gaslit, they would have to be consciously trying to convince you that you were wrong.
Correct. So I kind of gaslit myself, essentially, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So, but I've been in work situations where it was like I would literally say out loud, I would be like, so this is like what we need to do. And I would look around the room and be like, right? Am I wrong? Like, this is very obvious to me. Like,
Well, it's not to us, Cody.
do I not? No, but they
And why
wouldn't
aren't you
say
wearing
that.
pants?
Because eventually they'd be like, no, you're right. But I would just be like, then how did you not come to the conclusion earlier, you idiots? Because I used to work with very stupid people. And I don't say we've all worked with stupid people, but I have worked in the past with excruciatingly stupid people that couldn't manage their way out of a box. Thank God I don't work with those people anymore. But I'm just saying, oh man, there's some stupid people, and man, there's some stupid people that have jobs.
How far down in the Bourbon County bottle are we?
Well, this is my second snifter.
All right, let's go. I'm just waiting. I can tell you're ramping it up. That's good.
I know. No, but like there are some.
There's a lot of people that fail upwards.
Spectacularly stupid people. So that's
observedly dense.
Fun. Well, do we have any special plans for next week's show?
We're going to bring on a person who is going to be filling in for you for a little bit. That's the only special plan. Why? What do you got planned? What do you got up your sleeve?
No, I was just curious. Well, I feel because I feel like at some point I should probably mention that I'm currently unemployed.
Okay, do you want to do that now? Well, you just did.
I think we should just do it now because it's the end of the show. That not that many people would stick around to it, but I feel like it's relevant. Maybe
they will once I put it in the description.
Well,
stay tuned to the end for Cody's big announcement.
No, do not do that. Do not. It's not that relevant. It's not that relevant, but it's kind of relevant because, like, yeah, World Cup happened. I mean, I probably would like to talk about it a little bit next week just because I'm on the job market, and I like a lot of people have been on the job market lately because of layoffs and various like economic things and life, right? So like I can certainly tell some relatable stories about how crazy that is. Like today,
I was wondering if you were ever you've this is a little behind the curtain, but you've bandied this about for the last month, whether you should say something or not. Because to be honest, you haven't worked since 2018.
Yeah, I know. You'd think I would have mentioned it by now.
You should have brought it up at some point, but that's your business. I don't like to,
Well, there were. I wasn't sure what I was legally allowed to say about my previous employer, and it turns out slander and libel, like you can't get in trouble if it's expressly your opinion.
Correct.
So if I said something like I feel like blah blah blah, or my opinion is that blah blah blah, like I couldn't really get in legal trouble for that, right?
And so, as we used to say, is it D if it's true?
Is it D if it's true? And I would only say things that I felt were worth saying. So but I'll save all that. But what I will say is that it's relevant because I was availed of what I'm talking about. I left. I was no longer with my job as of like mid-October.
Correct.
So they basically, my opinion, my perception, my sense, my personal opinion that is not being presented as fact, but as my personal opinion.
All opinions are your own.
Is that I was working for a small business that very much did not want to pay me for my paternity leave benefits, which they had promised, because the business, in my opinion, was not doing super well financially because, in my opinion, they were bad at their job. So, in my personal opinion, it was a bit of a suck to get fired, essentially, less than 6 weeks prior to my wife being due for a baby. So that was pretty traumatic, actually, in lots of ways. I'm only bringing it up now because, again, these are all my opinions, and I don't have a lot to say about it. I've also been let go from a couple positions before, layoffs and stuff, and never really had anything bad to say about any of those people because business is business.
Sure.
But I kind of got F'd in the a little bit for what I would say is no particular reason other than gross incompetence. of people that aren't
Wow.
me. But
Allegedly.
that's the end. Allegedly, this is the end of my
No,
opinions. So,
can you get in trouble if nobody knows the name of the company?
and that's also true. That's also true.
You know,
Well,
if
yeah.
we never
So
mentioned the name of the company,
that is true. That is true. So I work
you
for
could have worked for
what is
Microsoft. You could have worked for Burger King. Nobody knows.
what is in my experience. My recent. I recently left a role that was initially what I thought was a great role and ended up being what I would describe, in my opinion, as hell on earth. Um, but I was willing to kind of stick it out for a while, but they were not. So uh,
Well, you
anyway,
should have known that the market for blacksmiths was going to dry up.
you would think. You would think. Um,
Usually you
anyway,
have foresight, but this time you did not.
usually, no, I had terrible judgment because one fun fact that I learned is that if a company employs fewer than 50 people in a specific metro area, you are not able to file a Family Medical Leave Act complaint. I am ineligible
Really?
to even file a complaint with FMLA
That
because
doesn't sound right.
I was not protected in any way because of the size of the business.
Oh,
If this had happened at a corporation, I could probably do something. The other thing is Illinois has a little bit more law in terms of like, if a woman is pregnant and she has health complications, you can't fire her. Well, I'm not the pregnant one. My wife's the pregnant one. So I am not protected from Jack. So
and he's a
literally,
ruthless mother.
yeah. So literally, I have no legal repercussions at all. I have talked to 2 attorneys actually to confirm this, and there's nothing I can do. Basically, a company and they don't have to warn if they're that small too. That's true, Mike. Yeah, they don't have to do anything. There is no
Nope.
legal protection. So literally, because it's we're an at-will state, they literally could have said outright, "We are firing you because we don't want to pay you your paternity leave," and that would have been protected. Like
Yep.
the government would have been like, okay, like that's how far it goes. That's how bad our laws are. And people are like, blah, 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 small business. Support small business. My dad was a small business owner, he and my uncle. Like, I'm all about certain small businesses. Other small businesses suck ass and they should never be allowed to do anything. Like, and I think that there are assholes that run small businesses that are allowed to do whatever they want because we like put this like small business idea on a pedestal, but it turns out a lot of small business owners are horrible human beings. So anyway, I'm not super pro small business anymore, legally, because of this incident that occurred. But rather than take things laying down and be like, oh, boo-hoo, woe is me. Oh my God, I'm gonna have a baby and I won't get paternity leave. I took a boatload of money out of savings, applied for jobs aggressively for last month. And at this point, since I haven't gotten a job yet, and I'm having a baby next week, my plan is just take a couple months off.
There you
And
go.
I can afford it. I'm not going to say privileged because this is on me. I'm the one that hoards money. I saved like 10% of my paycheck, every paycheck for like years. I
Yeah.
always save. I always am saving just in case of a rainy day. So this is not a
And
privilege
now it's
thing.
raining.
It's part privilege because like I've had good jobs and good opportunities, but
Sure.
but
But
I'm the
you've
one
earned
that
those too. I mean, come on.
yeah, I would say that. But anyway, I will, and I'm getting unemployment benefits. Thank you, Kevin. Yes, for sure. I'm getting unemployment benefits. I have a couple side gigs that are going to be like the Las Vegas thing that will
Yeah,
be
you're an escort. That's exciting.
I'm an escort. There's that. So I'll be totally fine. But like, I literally like, I was looking forward to like 3 months of paid leave. Now I have 3 months of like not paid leave, but I'm going to take the leave.
Yeah.
And I'm in a really good mental spot now. I probably wasn't like equipped to talk about it earlier because like it's hard,
Yeah.
right?
It's
Like
very hard.
getting S-canned like 6 weeks before your wife is due with your second baby, like that blows, right? And I'm the breadwinner, right? Like I'm like, this
Right.
is on me, right? The house is on my shoulders. So but I'm good. I'm honestly I'm good. I'm like, I just made the decision. I'm just like, I'm not gonna like desperately beg for jobs for 3 months and hope that I can start something, when I have a newborn that's like 6 weeks old. Like, no,
Right.
no. I'm like, if somebody's like, hey, can you start January 5th? I'm gonna be like, no, I'm gonna take 2 months off to raise my daughter and like bond with my baby girl and take care of my wife and my kid. And then like I'll start something in March or April and it'll be fine.
Boy, your son has already been regulated to the kid.
He's a kid now. Well, he is. You hang out with him. He talks.
Yes, but
so
you
much.
said I'm going to raise my baby daughter and the kid. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. If he ever needs support, he can come over here. You know.
Thanks. Well, that was a lot, Brian. I didn't say anything that would get me arrested, right?
No, because we still don't know who you worked for. You know, Lionel Trains was going out of business before you started, building models. It was, what are you going to do?
That's true.
So I don't think, I think you have to name them. I think you have to call them out to get in trouble. You can't work with, you worked at some hypothetical small business.
I did.
We don't know. Maybe you're lying about that. Maybe it was a multinational conglomerate. Maybe you worked for yourself and you just got tired of your own BS and you fired yourself. All your crazy ramblings.
Everybody else is tired of my BS. So,
right. Maybe you looked at yourself and went, I don't know. I got a lot of problems. I can't, I don't fit into the corporate culture here in my own office. So I got to go. So we don't know who you work for. You can't get, I think you're fine.
I think I'm fine.
All right.
Yeah. Also, Gina in the chat said, you're a good dad, Cody. Thank you, Gina. I appreciate that. I don't know. I think it's a little selfish of me to, just be like, I'm going to, like, she's not going to know. She doesn't.
No, she's not going to know.
Around.
She wants mom.
She can't even see for 3 weeks. Plus, mom's
wait. No, that's not true. They can see.
Well, they get, really blurry, right?
Listen.
No. Children's eyes develop.
Yeah, their eyes take a little while to focus up, but they could see.
Well, okay. She'll know my general shape. Anyway, all right.
She'll know your voice.
I appreciate the compliment. I wouldn't take that much credit. I just think it just seems
Gina,
natural.
to be honest, you haven't seen him with his son. Don't get too flowery. I've seen him.
I just figure this is probably our only second shot. I don't think we're going to have more after this necessarily. Okay. And it's just like, I will never get these 3 months back. And I'm just like, I could desperately search for a job that I don't need. It would be good to have an income, but I will not die. We will not starve if I don't get a job. Or I could focus on the little girl that I'm going to be responsible for the rest of my life. So I would like to do that. And newborns are amazing, and like spend the time bonding and do that. And like the only reason most people don't do it is because they have a job that won't give them time off.
Right. Because they can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I don't have a job. So why would I go find a job that then would prevent me from doing the thing that I now am actually in the position to do? It's just, I don't know. It's not traditional, like what I'm doing. For me to say, like, I'm not really planning on working for like 2 months while I like raise this little girl. Like, I don't think a lot of people would be like, that's fine. Cause it's, not really fine. But like, to me, it is. I don't know. You only live once. I could get hit by a car in April, right? And like die. And then what will I be able to say? I'll be like, oh, I spent 3 weeks with my kid. And then I like started working for some corporation, like managing Excel spreadsheets. Like, I'm not going to do that. You only live once. And like, I need this time. So that's how I roll. That's how I roll, Brian.
I like that. It sounds like you're defending yourself against voiceless accusers.
I do that a lot.
You sound a little defensive. Somebody's been getting in your ear telling you that this is not the right thing. And so you're, I know it wasn't me, so that's good.
Oh, man. And Ken said, I know the feeling, Cody. I once worked for a family-owned business as one of the only people not blood related to the family. Not a pleasant experience. Yeah, Ken, we could grab a drink sometime and talk, but I've already grabbed several at this point. So
yeah, it's tough. And it is still hard for me. It's generational. It's a weird thing for me to hear people taking paternity leaves because, my dad didn't do it. I didn't do it. I think I took 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
But I was working for myself, so that was, but yeah, it's the law, or it's supposed to be the law. And, why not? Because it's the old way of doing things where a woman has a baby and they send her home the next day. That doesn't, like, back when my brothers and I were born, you got a week off. You know, you're a week in the hospital. My mom got to stay a week in the hospital. Debbie was sent home right away. You know, yeah, they don't do that anymore. You got to go home, and that's ridiculous. You need help. You can't give birth and then go home the next day and just start it. You know,
especially if it's your first. You're like, okay, go
Right.
home with this. You're like, what?
Well, no, even the second, because now the second you got another one at home. You know, he's a good kid, but he's 2. It's not like he's going out. You know, going out and working for a living. He's still hanging around.
True.
He wants attention. He wants to do stuff. He wants to learn about trucks. He wants to eat eggs and toast. He wants to have some chicken nuggets. You know, with lots of ketchup. I know this kid. I know his MO.
I chicken nuggets and ketchup tonight. You do know that kid.
That's what I had for dinner tonight too, because I only had a few minutes. So we had chicken nuggets that we bought when he was coming over, and I asked Debbie, I go, "Will you just heat up some chicken nuggets so they're done at 8:00?" And I had chicken nuggets, but I had raspberry habanero barbecue sauce, not ketchup. It's very good, very spicy. So, all right. Well, then that's now it's out. Do you feel liberated that you finally let that out? You were carrying it around like a secret in a satchel, like a head in a duffel bag.
I know some people listen to the podcast. So if you're hiring any communications or content marketing senior managers or directors, I'm around.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. But again, like I did have a pre-screen for an interview, which I was excited about, with great position. And he's like, yeah, we'd like to get it wrapped up in the hiring in December and then, you know, have him start early January. And like, I haven't heard back since the pre-screen, but
Okay.
part of me is like, dude, if they're like, yeah, you got to start by January 15th, like, I'm just,
Nah.
I don't need that. Like, I don't need that. I have figured out my finances for a few months. Like, the baby matters. That spending that quality time with my family is irreplaceable. You can't put a dollar sign in front of it. And I'm just not going to start working in the next month at a full-time deal.
We get it.
When I've got a newborn, it's just, it's a weird place to be in.
Kevin, Big Ed did not have a family leave policy at the Comedy Cottage. He didn't even want to know if you had a family. He just wanted you to go talk at Jay's. That was it. He didn't want you to talk at the cottage. These guys, for a little Chicago comedy backstory before we get out of here. Big Ed used to be partners with Jay, and then they had a horrible split. And Big Ed had the Comedy Cottage in Rosemont, and literally right around the corner was the Last Laugh, and that was owned by Jay. And so Big Ed was this gruff. If he liked you, it was okay. If he didn't like you, he was kind of a pain in the ass. But he liked me well enough. But if anybody was talking, like if comics were talking in the back or something, he would come up. You want to talk? Go to Jay's. And then Jay would say something about, you want to go over to the Comedy Cottage. They never let it go. Those were two guys that died hating each other. For whatever business, whatever happened to them, it was a wild scene because you could do sets, and they were literally right around the corner from each other. So you could do on a Thursday night, you could do a set at one place, set at another. Then you could drive down to Lyons, do a set at the Comedy Womb, and if you were really a lunatic, you could drive over to Maryville and do a set out there.
Did you ever do
Thursdays and Sundays? Oh yeah,
all four?
Yeah.
Hardcore.
I wanted to work. Man's got to work.
I don't.
Listen, Cody, I get it. You want to live the life of a communist slug, just living off the land. That's all right. That's all right with me. You do what you got to do. You're going to be fine.
I'm not.
So wait, she's going to give birth during the show next week.
No, after.
Is that why you asked if we were doing anything special? Do we have anything special planned? Because my wife would like to give birth during the podcast.
No, I wasn't sure if I should. I guess I feel like I should have. I wanted to say something about being unemployed because I've been tweeting about it. I've vaguely mentioned on LinkedIn. I'm just like, I don't know. We talk about life here and our realities, and I'm not going to talk about it on my video game podcast because, like, that's first of all, dude, we recorded like 3 episodes in August and September, and I'm just now posting them.
Very nice. It's good to
So,
see you're on top of things. I'm
yeah.
glad that your work schedule hasn't interfered with anything.
Right. Yeah. No, that show is not well, though John keeps calling it off because he's got 2 kids and
Yep.
they're all in activities, and he's like, dude, I just got done carting my kids around for 5 hours after an 8-hour day. Please, can we not record? I'm like, okay. So we've skipped like 8 recording sessions.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, but are we on next Monday or Tuesday?
Yes.
So actually, we might be on next Tuesday. I know we should be on. Is that okay, Brian? I gotta double check.
Yeah, I think. Hold on. Yes, it should be. It should be fine.
So we
What's next Tuesday? The 6th.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
We're scheduled for Tuesday, or sorry, we're scheduled for Monday. I need to talk to John. Actually, I do want to record one more video game podcast with him, and he may be able to do. And I would ask him move this to Tuesday again.
Well, we'll let everybody know. It's going to be Monday or Tuesday.
Check the Facebook page. We'll definitely post as soon as I know. I'll find out as soon as I can from John.
Yes.
Because I want to get one more in the can. So that
that's what she said.
So that I have, because I do this video game lifestyle podcast, Game Life Balance US. It's just a fun, silly, not as consistent as me and Brian's show thing. Yeah, I have a few recordings in the can. I just want to do like one more with John. So anyway, we'll figure it out.
Let me know. We're flexible.
I will ASAP.
Please, ASAP. ASAP would be good.
Yeah,
because I have to let our guests know.
I know. I'll literally know.
No, it's
like,
fine. Yes. Relax. You're all wound up. You need a massage. You need some more Bourbon County Stout. That's what you need. All right. Do we have anything else to cover tonight?
No, I had a good time though.
I did as well. The final buzzer, and that leads us to 0-0 draw here in the match. Cody is on the pitch. What are you drinking? What is that?
I'm looking at how much is in here. There's only. You see how much is left?
You should finish that much.
That's
too much air in the bottle.
There's not
you
enough.
Gotta finish that.
That's
you get it. Can't save
I can't
that.
believe I drank.
Can't save that wee bit. That wee bit. All right. Well, my whiskey is gone, as is my will to live. So, that's not true, is it? Here's why I'm lingering, because I know once we're done, I'm going to get either an angry phone call or text. But
there's no way she lasted this long through all my BS.
No, she lasted long enough to hear the end of the wedding story, and then she was out. She doesn't care what I say about anything else, and I had nothing bad to say, so, which is unusual for me.
Dude, I would love tacos at a wedding because, like, you can't have a bad taco.
No, they had carnitas, steak, and ground beef, and then they had grilled vegetables. Then they had 2 kinds of rice, 2 kinds of beans. They had guacamole. They had chips. They had all the accoutrements for your tacos, whether you wanted just onion and cilantro, whether you wanted cheese, whether you wanted to American it up and do all kind of cheese and sour cream and whatnot. They had flour and or corn soft tortillas. So it was delish. Delish. You know.
Because, like, if you get a steak, if you're like, oh, dinner is steak, it could be really bad.
It'd be horrible.
But you can't serve a taco and have people be like, that was a subpar taco, I believe. Like, no, that's not how that works.
No, it was, the food was great. Like I said, I would have bellied up to the taco bar. If I didn't have to drive, I would have been pounding spotted cows and eating tacos like there was no tomorrow. And then I think later in the night, they were doing s'mores and hot chocolate out on the patio. And you could get adult hot chocolate too. You know, wink, wink, little Roma Loma in your hot chocolata.
That's amazing.
Or a Bailey's and hot chocolate. Oh, mama.
That's amazing.
That would have been tasty. But I didn't stay that long. I had to go get a speeding ticket and find out that the Mars Cheese Castle closes real early on Saturday.
Oh, no.
Which is unfortunate. Oh. All right. Well, we will talk to you next week. What night will it be? Who knows? Could be Monday, could be Tuesday. You download this at your leisure anyway on all your podcast platforms. Thanks to everybody who jumped in the chat tonight. It is always fun to hear from you. Cody, good luck tomorrow with the decorations. You know, I'll do my best. I will try to. I'll try not to put any undue pressure on you, so you feel like you have to compete. Because, quite frankly, you can't compete with my outdoor illumination. No chance. We'll see.
I wouldn't try, although I would compete with your Christmas decorating pole dancing.
Oh, well, let's break out the poles. Break out the poles and do it.
I broke out the pole and I hated it.
You
and
couldn't handle it.
And I'm returning it to Menards.
Well, tell Menards that you want to save big money and you need to save some time too. Not just big money. You need to save time. Right. To get those lights up there.
There's no off. Yeah.
Maybe you hire somebody.
Stop it. Stop it right now. That's offensive.
Well,
plus, where am I going to get the money to hire somebody? I'm on a budget now.
Maybe Donald Trump him. You hire him and you don't pay him.
I'll see if anybody is available on Truth Social.
Yeah,
surely someone with a Confederate flag profile picture will be willing to do work for free.
Say, listen, this is the kind of job you don't want taken from you. So come on over and do it.
Got him.
That's exactly how you get them. Then you get your engagement. Of course, you got to deal with the truck with the truck nuts on it and the flags with the animated swolled up 45 on there. Guy come over to your house, see you watch a World Cup, start calling you all sorts of snowflake names.
Hey, USA won today.
Yeah, but who'd they beat?
Iran.
It's like when Hulk beat the Iron Sheik.
Oh my gosh.
That's the kind of celebration we did today.
Oh, sorry we went long tonight.
Yeah.
Listener.
We gotta go.
Oh, I had a lot to say. The alcohol helped.
All right. It all helped. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks.
Next week will be a blowout. More like blow it. Bye.